What happened?
I forgot to close the gate to the garden yesterday.
Deer got in?
The deer got into the backyard. Ate all my roses. All the salads. And the apple trees.
Really?
Yeah. I'm about to cry. I messed up. I forgot to close the gate yesterday. Deer came in. And I got a picture of it too.
You're really gonna cry?
Yeah. This is like 2 years worth of work.
Will it grow back?
I don't know. I don't know. So Willie sends me a picture of a deer in the backyard yesterday. Here it is. I mean, this morning. And I said to him, can you check if the gates are closed? And he says, yeah, they're closed. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go back to sleep. And then I go and do my little tour of the garden this morning. And I noticed that a lettuce was chewed up. And I'm like, how did a rabbit get in here? And then I look up and I see the whole bottom of the apple tree is gone. And then I look over to the right and I see that all my white roses are gone. So I look around, I go to the other apple tree and it's all chopped up. And then some black-eyed Susan got chewed up and didn't touch the cabbage though.
Well, there's a reason. No, I like that.
All right, this will not happen ever again. Ever again. Don't go like, what?
What's today? Oh, it's 6th of June.
Oh, today's D-Day. Hey everyone, this is Sophia from My Great Challenge. This is another episode of my garden experiments with teary eyes. I have to announce that. Do I have teary eyes? I'm not very good. Yeah, I'm very upset.
You're glassy.
I forgot to close the gate yesterday and the deer came in and I gotta start over. I hope the apple trees are gonna be okay. All right, so let's go inspect the damage.
Well, how do they do it on the apple orchards? How do they keep it? Because those are in deer areas also.
They probably have all sorts of pesticides and you know, I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but we have an infestation of deer here. You know that. That's the reason why I built the whole garden fenced in for the purpose of keeping the deer away. And what does this idiot do?
You know they can jump over.
Yeah, but that's only if you spook them. And if they can.
No. I've seen them do it without being spooked.
They didn't. They had plenty of opportunities
to
go.
Ralph stuff.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. No. No, I think, you know what? No, it's not the vegetable gate. It's the main gate that was open. I did not close it. So it's my fault.
So they got into the main area.
Yeah.
But not the vegetable garden?
No. The vegetable garden is fine.
Because it was closed.
Because it was closed. The other one was open.
So closing it helps.
I suppose it does, yes. I suppose closing the gate would be a first step.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's go inspect the damage. All right, we're inspecting the damage. I am upset, but I'll get over it. So this one, untouched. We're good. This one, untouched. We're good. This one, the deer chewed every single bud that I had on the jump pole the second. But I didn't realize that at first. What I saw at first was the lettuce. You know my beautiful lettuce that I showed you in the other video? Yeah, that got chewed up. Okay. And then I looked up and then I noticed, wait a second, this got nibbled too. So the apple tree got nibbled, and so I went back to the lettuce, and that's when I noticed that these were chewed up. Then I went around and I looked, and all of this is good. Didn't touch any of the cabbage and Swiss chards. I was very concerned about the zucchinis. Zucchinis weren't touched. So I was like, okay, fine. And then I saw the apple tree. And the apple tree got chewed up. Yeah, so I don't know if this is going to grow back. And then the black-eyed Susan over here got chewed up too. So yeah, I'm upset. I have every right to be, but I'm upset at myself. I'm not upset at nature. If you want to see deer print, here we go. 1, 2. So let's follow the deer. Deer went over here. He didn't chew on the fig tree, which is good. And then he came over here, didn't touch the daisies, but chewed up the top of all of the asters. Didn't chew these, left the pumpkin alone, left the zinnias alone, and was not able to get to this garden because this one was locked. And then I woke up this morning, just because, you know, we got to make matters worse. I have a dead cucumber. I have 2 here and 2 here, and this one's dead. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to put a cantaloupe instead. Because it's climbing, I can have it climb. Everything here is fine. Didn't touch anything here because couldn't get in. But I did not close this gate, and it's entirely my fault. Everything will grow back. The roses will grow back. The lettuce will grow back. This apple tree, I'm not concerned. This one over there, I am. We'll see what happens, but mea culpa. Oh, my poor rose. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to wait to come back. It will. It will. Yeah, it's sad. So we're gonna check on what I did yesterday, making sure that everything is fine, nothing is wilted and dying. This is doing good. Looks like the roots have taken. Still don't know what I'm going to put in there, but everything is nice and clean. And we do have some grass growing finally. A little bit of grass is growing, and then all of this is clean. Now my issue is that I've discovered that I have soft scale on this hydrangea right here. I'm going to show you what soft scale looks like. It's this stuff, this white stuff. So I spread it yesterday, and I got a soft scale insecticide that's going to get in the mail. I'm probably going to get it today or tomorrow, and it is the result of ants. And you know I have ants, so I also got ant bait. This whole area here needs to be reseeded. I'm going to get ant bait, and I'm going to kill them once and for all, but this is looking really good and clean. So I need to dust myself off and learn from this lesson. It won't happen again. I can guarantee you that. I was really looking forward to having a good 5 or 6 white roses. Apparently not. I'm gonna have to wait at least another month and a half to get new shoots on that bush. But you know what? It might get bigger. You never know. It might actually help it, which I doubt. But I can't just boo-hoo and sorry myself. It's my fault. I own it. It's entirely my fault. So can't blame anybody else. I don't think it jumped, Scott.
Huh?
I don't think it jumped.
Okay.
Because if it had jumped, it would have jumped on the other side too. That's where all.
Walk through an open gate.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it just walked through the open gate.
Okay.
I'm gonna put some stuff today to try to. I'm gonna spray. Today I'm gonna spray deer spray, just in case. I can't remember when I went in if the gate was open or closed. That's my problem. When I went in this morning. Okay, but anyway, I got to figure out something. But I believe the gate was open or partially open, and the deer went in. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna have to figure out something. If I have to make the fence. Oh. It went through the back.
Yeah, you can do that.
it went through the back, not through my gate. My gate was closed. It came from Ralph and Beth's property onto our property. Let's investigate. I bet you I got deer track in the back of the property. Let's go check it out. Because as you know, I put some kind of apparatus here to keep the dogs from going out. But I didn't think about the deer. Let's see. I bet you I'm gonna find some deer tracks. Boom. Boom, right here. Sucker. And here's another one right there, and here, and here. All right, it came from the back. I gotta close this today. Today I gotta close this. Yeah, came from the back.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can clearly see the deer track in the mud. So it was not my fault. It's partially mine because I did not close that. So first order of business today is closing the back. We're gonna put chicken wire, we're gonna put poles, we're gonna lock this corridor out tall enough, because I know, Scott, that's enough of a deterrent, the way I built it. So there will be no more deer in the yard. So that's the first order of business today. Second order of business, we're going to plant peas. It's too late for peas. I'm gonna try anyway, because garden experiment. It's about 2 weeks too late for the peas in my area. I'm in 6B. So we'll see what happens, but where I'm planting them is gonna be partial shade anyway. They'll get the morning sun. The height of the sun is going to be behind the house, and there will be shade on them, and then they'll get the sunset. So they'll get 6 hours, but the coolest sun temperature in the morning and in the evening. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm planting peas, two kinds. I'm planting sugar daddy and snow peas. The snow peas, I'm gonna grow them on the trellis, and then I have 3 or 4 variety of beans that I need to plant, and then I'm planting onions and garlic. So that's what I'm doing today. And if I have time, I'll seed some more lettuce and mesclun in the garden. But yeah, the tomatoes don't look good at all. I'm gonna fertilize them with this fish and kelp. You have to dilute it. It's giving them everything they need to grow. It's organic. It's not Miracle Grow, so no chemicals, nothing. I'm gonna fertilize them with that in the end of the day. I'm letting the sun, dry the soil right now, because it's gonna be hot today, and I'm already sweaty. But yeah, we're gonna have breakfast. You see how energized I am now? I'm not defeated anymore. It was partially my fault. I did not think of the back. I didn't think the deer was gonna go but they're smart. The deer must have come over, looked at the gate, saw the roses and the lettuce, and said, there's gotta be a way for me to get in here. Let me go around the garage. Bingo. So there you go. Oh, all right. It's disappointing, but I'm not defeated. I'm going to continue to work on this garden, and I will be successful in the end. I just got to learn to do certain things the proper way. This thing has got to be like
close the gate.
The gate was closed. You're not funny. When I went in this morning, I remember the gate was closed. Otherwise, I would have just said, oh my God, it was open. Let me check on stuff. And no, it was closed. I did close it last night. But it came from behind the garage. What? Is it going to be sarcastic and make me feel horrible?
It might not have looked at the gate and said, oh, the gate's closed. Let me go around the back. It might have started out and said, hey, what's down this tunnel? And ended up in your backyard, and by the time Willie took a photo of the deer in the driveway, it had already jumped the fence, and
it didn't have to jump the fence. It can just go in and out through the back.
But why would it go through the back and then hang out on the driveway just for the heck of it?
Because it came back this way. Because that's what they do. They walk on the driveway. You've seen them walk on the driveway. Maybe he was eating wood chips. I don't know.
I'm just saying it might have come from the street over.
Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe when Willie took the picture of the deer had just arrived.
Nah, I think he was probably leaving.
I have to do forensic investigation on the pictures to see if there is dangling pieces of letters out of its mouth or if it's got mud on its hooves. Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's move on from this drama. I gotta have breakfast and get ready for the day. I tell you, man, it's upsetting. You saw me getting upset, and it's just like I'm about to get upset again. I'll survive. It's disappointing, but lesson learned. I should have closed the back. All right, that's what we're gonna do first today, is close the back. Okay, I'm upset, but I'm working hard, and I'm gonna resolve this problem once and for all. So I have old metal posts from the old fence. I was gonna use them for my bean poles today, but I still have a few in there. That's one of the advantages of having junk all over the house. You never know when you're gonna need it. So I'm gonna let go of my anger by hammering those down, and I'm making a 4-foot fence with the turkey wire that I have left over. And you see, the issue here is that I wasn't concerned with this at all, because the Rube Goldberg contraption I had was really to keep the dogs inside the yard. So I was concerned about my dogs more than I was concerned about the deer, and I should have thought about that. But to be honest, this should have been done last year. And it's going to keep the raccoons out too, because we do have raccoons. This is not going in. I gotta find a better spot. Why are you not going in? Maybe I have too much gravel in the back here. Not going in. All right, I gotta dig. Okay, so this is not going in. There's an issue. That's part of the old contraption. Let's see. I wonder if I'm on the concrete base. Ah, aha. Here we go. It's the old mesh. Okay. It wasn't going through because of the mesh, so now I should be fine. All right, let's see. All right, let's get the turkey wire. All right, so the good thing about these is that they have those hooks right here. So I'm hooking my stuff on it, but fear not, I also have zip ties. We're gonna use zip ties. The whole thing is going to be completely enclosed. No more deer, unless they jump. But we'll cross that bridge another time. Okay, so basically I'm putting all that wire and tucking it in. And once it's tucked in, I'll get zip ties. Unfortunately, I don't have collars that are kind of, you know, blending in, but it is what it is. All right, one. Okay, introducing another Rube Goldberg performance here. What did I do? I doubled the wire and then I put zip ties. These two here are really for the dogs because the beagle will figure out a way to get out of here. But you know what else I'm getting out of my yard? Look, let me see. Do you guys recognize these tracks, these little footprints? Those of you who live in the burbs and who live in the country, you probably recognize them. I'm gonna insert a picture right here. Yep, these are raccoons. So I get raccoons too. Obviously, the raccoons won't come here anymore. And I put this board right here because I do have a gap. This is not the right installation, obviously. I have to figure out something better, but for now, let's be honest, no deer is gonna go through this, hopefully. Crossing my fingers. Could I have done a better job? Absolutely. I just needed to rush through this because I have other things to do today. For now, it's gonna work. The issue is the chicken wire or the turkey wire that I have is too flexible and it's something more rigid. I do have a roll of that. I mean, not a roll, some about maybe 5 by, I don't know, 5 feet, 6 feet maximum. That is really the ideal one you need to use for this kind of contraption. It should also be closer to the fence and the garage. I'm totally aware of this, okay? I just needed to do something for tonight to make sure that the deer doesn't come back. Because now that it figured out that there's goodies in this yard, there's no doubt it's coming back tonight. So that's gonna stop it tonight. And after that, I have to come up with a real contraption. I'm probably gonna dig up poles or dig in poles and do a gate. You know, maybe if it's just a chain link type gate, that's fine, but I need to have something there, a door, something. But for now, it's just gonna work. I scratched myself all over, that's all right. I should have wore gloves, that's me. Anyway, so that's gonna do it for today. We'll see what happens. It should prevent the deer from coming through. It's gonna come into the on the parking lot. It's gonna try to get in through the back. Is it going to jump this fence? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Listen, again, this is an experiment. I'm trying to have a garden and live in the burbs with all sorts of critters. I mean, you saw the raccoon print. So we have raccoons, we have wild turkeys, we have deer, we have rabbits, we have golfers, because, you know. So I'm trying to figure out a way. I mean, ideally, I should fence off the whole property, but financially, we can do it right now, so that's fine. So what's next? I'm going to use that good wire to make a skirt. Yes, one of you had the brilliant idea that I could use my wire metal dress form in the garden as a trellis. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. And we are going to grow either peas or lima beans on it. So I have to make a skirt so that I have a guide to get to the bottom part of the mannequin. I think it's gonna look really cool once it's all filled up. I do have to make sure I leave a gap in the front so that I can grab the lima beans that are inside the skirt. But I think it's gonna be really, really cool. So that's coming up next. I need to take a break and have some water, and then I will see you again in the vegetable garden, where I'm going to start planting beans, peas, onions, garlic, salads. What else? I think that's it. And pray please for my tomatoes and the rest of my yard, and for the deer to not come back. I would appreciate that. So here's the dress form I was telling you about that I'm going to use to grow lima beans on. We're going to flatten this a little bit. Okay, so it's going to go right here. And this is the kind of wire I was telling you about that I need for that fence in the back. This is much sturdier, and we're going to use it to make a skirt like this. And it's going to stay open in the front. I should cut it to make it shorter so that I can go in to grab whatever lima bean I have there. So we'll see how that works. I don't know if it's going to be tall enough. We'll see. I think it's a cool idea. It's going to be all filled up with beans and greenery and, you know, flowers, and it's a good corner here for the lima beans anyway. So what I did here is fold the top to shorten it. Okay, so I'm going to use zip ties, and I have pink ones, perfect. And I think I'm going to cut a little bit at the bottom so that I can flare it just a tiny bit. Not by much, just enough to be able to manipulate the wire a little bit. Alright, let's tie this up first. Then I have to anchor it to the ground. Alright, so we're gonna tie it up right here. Isn't it a fun idea? If you go on online, you'll see there's a lot of people doing that. I think it brings a little bit of whimsy to the garden. Okay, here. I'm having, you know what, I need to anchor this thing first. Let me get my anchors. I got some anchors left from the greenhouse, so we're gonna anchor these. I'm gonna have to hammer them in. Alright, so that way if there is a gust of wind or something, it's not going to disappear. Alright, and break. We'll probably have to anchor it a better way. So I'm still cutting those because I want to flare it a little bit. And it's very rigid, so it's not easy. There we go. Alright, and then bring this here. There we go. So I'm going to do this, and when I come back, we should have a proper skirt. So here goes. She's got a skirt. It's anchored. Lots and lots and lots of zip ties. That's okay, it's all gonna get covered. If they grow, all I have to do now is pretty much dig a circle around it and start planting my fava beans. I'm gonna leave maybe a circle that's 3 inches wide all around it, and let me see, 1, 2, maybe 8, 9 lima beans are gonna grow on it, and they'll attach themselves to the skirt, and they'll keep filling up the whole bodice here all the way to the top. It's gonna look really cool when it gets to this level, because it will look like she's got a real skirt. I think it's a brilliant idea. I know I have a lot of junk in my yard, but you know what? This is gonna be really cool if it works. So let's dig and get the beans and start planting. So we're going to scrap the whole idea of doing lima beans, because I just checked the variety that I have, and my variety is Henderson, and Henderson lima beans are bush beans. They're not trellis. So look at that, this soil is all wet, it's perfect. And it's 94 degrees right now, just want to mention that. So we're gonna do Kentucky blue pole beans instead. And they might grow a little bit taller, and that's all right. I'll keep them on the trellis on the top if I have to. I'm just gonna make a circle, and they're gonna get planted right in there. You see, that's the beauty of the Back to Eden garden. You do not plant in the mulch. You gotta move your mulch, okay? Eventually your mulch becomes a phenomenal fertilizer. But if you plant in the mulch, there's no nutrient, and it's nitrogen depleting anyway. So nothing's gonna grow in the mulch itself, but it will grow in the soil that's underneath. And I've amended that soil. If you guys have been watching since the beginning, you know that soil has all the compost that it needs, including mushroom compost, manure, the whole thing. All right, and I'll have to rake all of that extra mulch and put it somewhere else. Man, it's still wet underneath. It's beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is that I have a lot of extra soil when I have the topsoil and compost, and I'm just going to fill up the gap to bring this to the same level, because when it rains, and again we're gonna have rain this week, I can't win, I'm telling you, this whole garden's gonna rot in place. It will keep the mulch, I don't know where my thing is, it will keep the mulch from, or the chips rather, from falling into, I gotta find my troll, I don't know where it is. And you notice I didn't put any in the front here because I don't want any bin pole in the front. If I do that, then I won't be able to get in to get the beans that are inside the skirt. So these are Kentucky blue pole beans. It says on the internet to plant them 2 to 3 inches apart, and then you get a thin. So I'm gonna put it at about an inch in there. And about 3, let's put it over here. And you gotta water. I hope this works. Put it over here. It takes about 10 to 14 days to germinate. Okay, next we're gonna do tender green improved. Those are bush variety. I have these. What I'm gonna do is put them right here. And instead of doing the turkey wire, which is really a pain to install, I'm going to do the string method, where you kind of like string them. So I need at least 3 of those poles. I'll put one right here. I gotta make sure keep them straight. I put it a little bit more here instead, because I'm gonna need room for all the stuff. I'm running out of room already. Okay, that's one. And it's the same method. I'm just going to make a trench right here. I'm not straight. Make sure I'm straight. You know, now that I think of it, I think these need to be closer to the soil, because otherwise I'm gonna have to bend my bean poles. So let me redo this and then we'll plant beans. I took a lunch break and I'm starting to think that this is really the only spot where I can do peas, because this is not too hot. You can see that I have some shade here, and then I get the sun again in the morning and stuff. So I'm gonna push this a little bit more. Or maybe I just do a volt like this. All right, so we're gonna do peas here instead. And then I'll do a row right here of beans. And then on the other side where I thought I was gonna do a cantaloupe, I was just reading on the internet that actually you shouldn't do cantaloupe and cucumbers together. They are actually opposite plants, even though they're part of the same family, because they do cross-pollinate and then you end up having no fruits at all. So over there, I'm gonna do some bush beans because they go well with the cucumbers. And then it's too late for garlic, regardless of what they say on the internet, but it's not too late for onions. So my red onions I'm going to plant by the roses because they are good repellent for aphids. And then I'll see where I'll do the lettuce. So I need to do another row right here where I'm going to put the bush beans and then pull out this dead cucumber over there and do more bush beans. And then we'll see where we're at after that. I'm running out of space. That's the problem. This is not a big garden. That's one of the reasons why I want to do gardening on the other side too. Not just perennials and annuals. I also want to get vegetables on the other side. So, according to this, these are red onions, which are favorite. The 60 bulbs in there. And according to the planting time zone in the back, I can still plant it between March and June, and it's June 6th. So I guess we're good. Worst comes to worst, I'll have green onions to chop and put on various dishes. I added a little bit of soil that has compost in it. This is well drained. And they are a good companion to roses because they help you get rid of aphids. So I'm going to sit down. Let's see. Mom says to plant them close together. Oh, they are tiny. I think that's what they refer to as onion sets. I'm not going to put all of them. I'm going to pick what I believe to be the best ones. So this one looks good. So you're supposed to put them in, and I'll need that. Leave the top of the bulb. These are basically dormant. That's what it is. So now you can remove them and replant them, or you can leave them. Over the winter, what you basically do is that you cut them, my understanding, I'm not sure. You cut them and then you cover them with some kind of dead leaves or whatever. And then they come back. I don't know what to do with this, we're gonna leave it alone. They come back in the spring again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're gonna stagger them. This one looks no good. I'll put one here. And then on the other side over there, I'm gonna do mesclun, because we gotta have mesclun. We'll see if this grows. Worst comes to worst, if I just have green, you know, you can eat the green part. And then even those, once they're revived and if they don't grow into a bulb, you can actually saute them like a shallots. So it's not a waste. All right, let me finish this and then we'll do mesclun. So this is what I was telling you about the other day, yellow sticky traps. I did receive it, I knew I received it. It was in a different box. It was in the box where the fish stuff was. So it comes, it's inexpensive. It comes with 20 yellow sticky traps, 20 pieces of twist wire, and 2 holders. Peel off the protective paper, use the included twist wires to hang the yellow sticky trap on the desired location, or place the yellow sticky trap tightly on a stick, not included, then stick it into the ground if used near trees and plants. Okay, so the reason why I purchased this is because I'm getting tired of squishing aphids. And I think that every time I squish, I'm actually damaging my roses. And these are beautiful, but boy, are they magnets for aphids. Okay, so here's one. It's unattractive, I get that. But basically, is it sticky on both sides? Yes. I think there's pheromone on it, and what it does is that it attracts, and it's sticky, so the white flies that create the aphids basically are attracted to it because they also like the color yellow. And they come and they get glued to it. So hopefully this will end the aphid drama in this garden. Okay, so now we're just gonna remove the sticky on this one side. So tomorrow I'll come by and we'll see how many whiteflies and possibly aphids we got. Okay, I'm gonna put one here. It's unattractive. All right, I've tried the sprays and the soap, and oh, it is sticky, and it does nothing. They come back the very following day. So now I'm gonna do one on this side too, although for some reason this one doesn't have as many, I don't know why. Mystery of nature. Why is the one on the right's got all the aphids, but the one on the left, I'm looking at it, there's not a single aphid on this one. Why? You tell me why. Why one rose? I guess because the diner is over here, they don't need to go for the pastry shop, I don't know. All right, so this is gonna go here. Even though we don't have aphids. And then I'll put some on the other roses. And I still have to cut my apple trees and the rose that got chewed up. I got to trim them with alcohol dipped trimmers, sécateur, and cut them properly at the next, right before the next bud. Okay, let's see how that goes. All right, I'll give you updates in pictures. And then these need to start being tied upward, and next year they get tied horizontal and then up again, and then I'll have the whole arch. Okay. All right, let me do the mesclun, and then I have to water everything. It's going to rain again, but I want to use the fish fertilizer. I am very, very worried about my tomatoes. I think they got blight. All of them, except the 3 over there. It's got nothing to do with the method. It's got nothing to do with the wood chips, because obviously the peppers, the other tomatoes, and the eggplants are doing fantastic. Everything else on the other side is doing good, but this set of tomatoes, I think they got damaged by the frost, and that weakened the plant, and now they got blight. So I'm gonna see if I can find a copper spray. I'm gonna put fish fertilizer on them tonight, and then I'm gonna get a copper spray and see if I can get the blight or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It doesn't look like blight, but they're not looking very healthy. See, when you go to Home Depot or any of the stores, you see their tomato plants, they're like gorgeous, and you're thinking like, Sophia, your tomatoes look like garbage. Well, yeah, but they use fertilizers and chemical fertilizers, and those are GMOs, and you know, that maybe that's what a real tomato is supposed to look like. I don't know. Anyway, am I in over my head yet? I don't know. I'm trying, okay? I am enjoying myself. I really do enjoy doing this. My only issue is that I'm very concerned that the tomatoes are not growing. So if they don't grow, I tell you what, and I have to take them out, the whole space here that's supposed to be tomatoes, I'll do corn. And then in the fall, I'll bring in the garlic, I'll bring in more cold crops, I'll do another row of cabbage and kale and all of this stuff. So I'm not, you know, freaking out. I just want to eat fresh tomatoes. Okay, we don't, oh, look, I already have one. Oh, wow, it worked. You can see it. I already have one right here. Oh, this is great. Oh, this might just work. Okay, let me do the mesclun, and then it's just a matter of, you know, sow them, put a thin layer of dirt on it, and then water, and you're done. I have to get rid of a few weeds that I have here, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do where the cucumber is, the dead cucumber, because I have enough beans. I have the pole beans, and I have the bush beans, and I have the lima beans, enough of the beans. I got to figure out something over there. Maybe I'll do Swiss chards again, because I did it in the summer last year, and they were beautiful, and I had Swiss chards in July and in August and in September, so maybe I'll do Swiss chards. Okay, we'll see if the onions grow. It's an experiment, I don't know. You like salad?
Kinda.
Mesclun, you keep on cutting it, it keeps coming back. It's cool and not super sunny, you don't need that.
But
it's a mix of different salads, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna put it in my hand.
Yeah.
You see how there's different seeds?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you're gonna sprinkle it all around this. Don't lose seeds.
Sorry.
All right, come on. Here, I'll give you your own.
Yeah, give me my own.
Don't lose seeds.
I'm gonna lose all the seeds.
Don't lose the seeds.
I'm gonna lose them all.
Don't do that. Okay, I'm gonna go it like this. Go over there, do it that side. I'm doing this side. Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna keep some for later on because you want to stagger them. All right? Keep your hand over this so that way if you lose seeds, you lose them in the dirt and not in the, there you go.
It was over it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna...
Did you do some over there?
Yes.
Okay, now grab some of that dirt with your hands like this and lightly put the dirt over it. You don't want to cover them too much, but you want to cover them enough that the birds don't see them.
If they do see them, wouldn't they just get moved to a different location?
Oh, the birds?
The seeds.
Yeah, but what if the seeds go to the neighbors?
Then they get free lettuce.
Okay, but I want to eat the lettuce. Did you do it over there?
Yes.
All right.
Just buy lettuce. Helps the economy, which means more lettuce, which means you can get more salads.
Okay, and then we're gonna water it. You might have to give me more water.
No, I think we're good.
I don't know about that.
I know about that.
You see that worm?
The what?
The worm?
Yeah, I see the worm.
Good news.
It's dead.
No, you want worms. All right, give me some more water. Thank you.
But you're good on water.
No, I'm not. I need more. So everything is planted, and you saw me put all the little labels. They're not for me, they're for Scott, because he walks around when I'm at work and he has no idea what he's looking at, so now he knows. I got a whole bunch of mint, because I love mint in tea, and I'm very intrigued in this one right here, the Korean licorice mint. So I do have mesclun, and I ended up putting lettuces here because it is in the shade for a good portion of the day. And then I'm trying spinach again. I'll do spinach there. I know it's too hot for spinach, but we'll see what happens. Again, this is going to be in the shade. Blue lake beans are going to be here. So what I'm going to do is the twine that goes in a figure eight to hold them together. Snow peas right here are going to go all the way up on the trellis if they grow. Gambling here again. And then we have the Kentucky blue pole beans in the skirt. We'll see what happens there. And then I put the ivy geranium right behind it. And everything else you've seen already, except for those two eyes. So those ended up being the lima beans because they are bush variety. They're gonna take the whole space here. So now realize that when you walk into the garden, basically there's only going to be like this little space here to walk in. If everything grows properly, it's gonna be all filled up. My concern again are the tomatoes. I'm gonna fertilize them now and get a copper treatment for them that I'm going to spray. If they don't pick up, I'll have to ditch the tomatoes and go to the garden center and go get tomatoes. No shame, it didn't work. Everything else worked but the tomatoes, so we'll see. Maybe I got them a disease, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm learning. It is an experiment. So I have my fish emulsion here. This is the one I was telling you about. Organic liquid fish and kelp blend. You shake it very well and you put a few ounces per gallon of water, and I'm going to water everybody that's already out of the ground, in particular the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and see how it's going to fertilize them, trying to go as organic as possible. And the good news is those sticky things work. Look at this. I'm going to try to give you a close-up. Look at it. They are there and not on my roses. They are all sticking to, unbelievable. Let's go on the other one. So I'm going to put it on the other side. Look at that. Yeah, these are all the white flies that make the aphids. So I manage to protect my roses from the aphids, and I don't see any new flies on my roses since I put that. So I don't know. It looks like this might be the solution. And the other side is sticky too. You can, I didn't unpeel it. You can just flip. You know, you take this, you flip it the other way around and you peel. So each sheet you can use twice. Basically what I'm going to do is once in a while I'm going to come in and see if this is still sticky. And if it's not sticky, then I'll flip it and get the other one. But it's got to be 40 of those flies on there. And again, none on my roses, so it's working. Well, that was the good news for the day. And I did need some kind of good news for today, because between the deer eating my roses, I'm more upset about the rose than I am about the lettuce. The trees, I know that they'll come back. That's not an issue. I'm more upset about my rose. Between the deer and what appears to be early tomato blight on my tomato, it was not a good day for me, but this makes me happy. This makes me happy. So what I'm going to do now is I have scratches everywhere. My hands are horrendous, and that's just the way I love them. I dug in dirt all day. It is almost 8 o'clock. I've worked 10 hours. In heat, I'm exhausted. I need to go take a shower, but I'm super, super happy. We're going to see. This is it. I have room for nothing else. We're going to see how it works out. What comes out, what doesn't come out in the soil and with the back to Eden method. And again, you know, I'm trying to learn how to garden as well. I am not an expert, obviously. It's an experiment. We'll see what happens. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't grow, I know. I'll do more research as to why it doesn't grow. The one thing that worries me the most are the snow peas, because it is hot. But this variety supposedly sustain heat, extreme temperatures, they say, very cold or very hot, so we'll see. And then the spinach, we'll see what happens. The lettuce, if we don't eat it fast enough, it will bolt, that I know. Yeah, and that's it. I blocked the deer, so hopefully we're safe. I gotta remember to close the gate. And again, the one thing that bothers me the most are the tomatoes. So I'm going to fertilize them with that fish and kelp concoction. Hopefully that will work. Next week, I'll come back here. I'll show you progress on the tomatoes and the zucchinis in the back. I don't have to plant anything anymore, and I also don't have room. So I'm not going to be able to do garlic. I'm going to have to do in the fall after I remove the cucumbers. I'll put the garlic there. So next week when I come back, we'll check and see if we have any sprouting on the bean and pea situation, and check on everything, in particular the tomatoes, if I was able to somewhat save them or if I had to replace them. Again, if I have to replace them, it's not a big deal to me. It's a lesson learned. Obviously something went wrong at some point, you know, during the growth maturation period. I know it's not the soil and it's not the chips, because the rest of the vegetables are doing pretty good except that one cucumber. But I pulled it out and that cucumber actually was broken. So when I pressed it in, I broke it, and that's the reason why it died. So it has nothing to do with the environment it's growing in. I gave it zero chance to grow. I'm excited about the mint. You see that I'm doing all the mint in containers. That's because it's a wide spreader. And if you see flowers, you're gonna cut them. Otherwise, you're gonna spread your mint all over, including your neighbors. They may not want that. So I'm done for today. I'm going to use, again, that fish and kelp emulsion. I'm going to fertilize everybody, including the roses. And that would be it. I'll spend the rest of the evening cutting the rose bush that got nibbled, and then the apple tree, just to give them a trim, a sanitary trim after their little trauma. And that would be it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Hey, it's me, and guess what? Click that thumbs up if you really like this video.
thumbs down twice if you didn't. You can also share my video if you really liked it, or save it to watch later. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, but don't forget to click that bell button so you are always notified when I post a new video. Thank you for watching!